Happy it's the 3rd of November. My God. Crazy, eh? Crazy, eh? It is so awesome, though. Time is flying by. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Had some fun doing Halloween stuff. Go check out some of the pictures. I dressed up a lot last week. Just busy, though. Had family here, kids. You know how it goes. Still government shutdown. And I want to touch on a few things tonight. We'll get into it a little bit deeper tomorrow. But government shutdown, still there. And it's funny because the conversation is around SNAP and the benefits. That's a big conversation because the SNAP benefits run out. The other conversation, though, the real reason why the government is shut down has a lot to do with healthcare and the benefits. And it's kind of this odd thing where the battle is about healthcare benefits and the subsidies, which, let's be honest, right? Obamacare flailed, right? It didn't work. It sucked. All right. You've got some people say, and we've had discussions about this in the past, the whole thing was bankrupt it, break the shit out of the system, and then make everybody get, healthcare for all or offer that. There's others out there who say, well, why did this fail? Well, it failed because this is the way government works. If everything goes perfect, then it'll work. But if one thing doesn't go perfect out of the 5,000 things, it's going to fall apart. That's what happened. Not enough people who are healthy rolled into Obamacare, into the, to go into the ACA, into the giant pool to make it worthwhile. So what do you have? You have 22 to 25 million people who are about ready to see their premiums go through the roof. I was watching a woman today, her and her 2 kids, and she is looking at $289 a month, going up to over $1,000 a month. Another lady, her and her kid, going up to $500 basically from $80. She's like, I can't afford that. I don't blame her. I understand. Obamacare did not work. Most people, they're going to roll the dice. If you're healthy, you're rolling the dice. Well, what's that do? Well, if you're healthy and you're younger and you're rolling the dice, that takes you out of the pool. Out of the pool means it's going to be more expensive for the people who aren't healthy. So this isn't about SNAP, but the SNAP benefits are a huge part of why the conversation is going, because those things aren't there. Now, they were told today they have to fund through the emergency fund whatever they can. So there's $5.5 billion-ish, give or take, inside the emergency fund. They need $9 to $10 billion to fund it completely. So SNAP benefits will take a while for people to get, but you're only getting half of your SNAP benefits. And because you're only getting half your SNAP benefits, that ain't a helper for a lot of people. The beauty of our country, though, is I've seen a ton of churches, a ton of NGOs, a ton of, that work with the government, a ton of other, nonprofits and people that are stepping up to help people in this time. And now I'm out here in Nashville. It's become more expensive. There's no doubt about that. On air today, I heard from a lot of people that said things like this. They're making $80,000 a year. They're a family of 4 after taxes, rent, the whole 9 yards, and everything. Remember, there's no state tax here. They're still in a position where they're living paycheck to paycheck. One guy texted me and said, $2,500 a month for my health care. I'm not doing it. I can't afford it. So affordability is massive. And SNAP helped, not everybody, because there's a lot of people out there. It's like everybody who's on SNAP is taking advantage of the system. That's not true, and that's bullshit. That's just absolute bullshit. You know it, I know it. But there is no doubt that SNAP is the immediacy and is hitting the people right now in a way through this funding of the government battle that's going on, that for the last month, this has affected people who work for the government, but it's not affected the average person. And now it's affecting a lot of people. And so there's a lot of people who are pissed about this, and it's understandable. Again, nobody's going to starve in America. We have an obesity problem amongst everybody, including the poor. So I don't think anybody's going to starve. That being said, it is not a good look. And it's not a good look. And I said this the other day, and people got mad at me. Trump's throwing a fucking great Gatsby party. Think about that for a second. If you haven't seen it, it screamed of opulence, and it also screamed of not reading America at this moment in time. I mean, it's not a good look. Let's be real. And if you read, the great Gatsby, it's about the haves and the have-nots. It's about this, the opulence. And that's what this was. It was just ridiculous. And again, it's not reading the room. And he's like, him. Here's a picture of the new Lincoln bathroom that we redid. And when you've got people out there that are living paycheck to paycheck, many of them who voted for you, they're not happy. And look at the polls. The polls right now, so much of this last election, was it about strictly immigration or was it inflation in the economy? His numbers aren't good. And I'm going to tell you guys this. When you look at, and this is the most important thing, when you look at poll numbers, because poll numbers can be screwed with. I mean, it's easy. It's how you ask a question. Who's asking the question? Did I hire you? Did they hire you? Is this a question that is going to lead you more often than not to throw an answer the way I want you to? Look at the independents. That's what matters. What do the independents see? Find 2 or 3 different polls, which can be a pain in the ass, but the beautiful thing of ChatGPT and all of these other things is they can put it together for you in a way where you can go, okay. And the independents across the board are unhappy, from the economy to a lot of different things. That right there is still the number one thing. The economy's stupid. And this doesn't look good right now. Now, tomorrow you've got elections. Mondani is probably going to win in New York. What's that like? Is this just more of a FU to the establishment of the Democrat Party as much as anything else? I think it is. I think it absolutely is. Everybody's talking about this being this big FU, America wants socialism. No, I think a lot of it is an FU to the Democrat Party across the board in the crony capitalism. On the other side of it, you've got what's going on in Virginia, which is going to be interesting. New Jersey. I mean, are we going to see, of course, and then Prop 50 and a bunch of other things, but are we going to see, it's a midterm of midterms, this be a split, right? So if the Republican wins in New Jersey, that's a big deal. If the Democrats across the board win, that's also an issue that Democrats are going to be celebrating. So there's a lot going on here, and this week's going to be very interesting. And finally, as we joke about all of the poll numbers, this, that, the other, and Trump not reading the room, the reality is very fortunate that you go up against the Democrats, because the Democrats continue to flail over and over and over again. And this is a perfect example of it, is you got to have some other thing other than Trump sucks as your platform.
In the brand new CNN poll, we did ask voters what their opinions of the parties in Congress were. 29% favorable for Democrats, 55% unfavorable. Why don't people like you, Senator?
Well, John, it's good to be with you this morning. The short answer is, at least for some time, Democrats did not see the party in Washington fighting back more strongly against Donald Trump and his attacks on our democracy, on his failure to bring down prices. But also Democrats do need to provide a better alternative to Donald Trump. It cannot only be about going after Donald Trump. It needs to be about presenting alternatives. In fact, I'm working on some proposals right now on the tax front to increase taxes on the wealthiest and make sure that middle-class families, working-class families get relief. So I think we need to do more than just talk about these issues. We need to put forward clear plans that tell people where we are.
And that's why the Democrats, no matter how bad the Republicans are doing right now, there's no clear path outside of Trump sucks, right? That can't be your only go-to, is he's the worst. He's awful. Okay. Right. Just like, Marjorie Taylor Greene was talking the other night on Mar and touching on it at my show today. Yeah. You tell me you've got ideas for healthcare, but your ideas are what? Just out of curiosity. It's talking points. That's all it is. It's nothing else. It's the usual. It's like, I've been comparing it to football. Like, how are you guys going to play? What's our plan this week? We're going to throw the ball. We're going to tackle. We're probably going to run the ball. Oh, that's the plan? Yeah, that's the plan. No, you've got to have ideas. And right now, both parties are, staring at each other. They don't have any real ideas. And guess what? Real Americans are struggling, and they're pissed and they're angry, and they have every right to be. This is a failure across the board. It is not just the Democrats, and it is not just the Republicans. Both sides need to do a damn better job about acting like adults. And until it hurts one side or the other really, really bad, this stalemate's going to go on. I thought it would end a lot sooner. And could this be a situation where in the coming few days, nothing gets done and we start to realize we may be looking at a Thanksgiving where travel's going to be chaotic, if there is any travel at all outside of being on the roads, because TSA is going to be shut down, air traffic control is going to be minimal. That is a possibility. That is a possibility. And the question is, over what? Both sides love to waste money. Both sides love to blame each other. How about for once, both sides get together and solve some of the problems that they cause? We'll see. Tomorrow, we'll do a much longer one. Follow along at Chad Benson Show. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Insta, wherever else, Twitter, like and subscribe. We appreciate it when you do that. You can always tweet at us at Chad Benson Show. Follow along tomorrow. Go to chadbensonshow.com if you want to find out where I'm playing live, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific, 9 to noon East Coast, live on the radio. You guys have a blessed rest of your night, and we will do it again tomorrow as always.